garbage.
Ooh, sorry about that. Anyway, I've been using this Razer Huntsman Mini 60 with Razer Red linear switches for about 2 or 3 weeks now, and I've been very satisfied with it. It's extremely pleasant to type on. It feels good. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and actually now kind of a big fan of small form factor keyboards. My workspace now is kind of limited, so I kind of have to move my keyboard around quite a bit from one place to another, and having a small keyboard, it actually works out really great. This is something I mentioned in my video about this keyboard. See, I'm just using my cell phone cable with it, and it works just fine. Not all the keyboards allow you to do that. However, I kind of... That's hell? Okay, hello, what the heck. I kind of noticed or learned over time that there are two major things that are not perfect for me, just a little bit annoying. So again, going back to the cable, since I have to move the keyboard a little bit, the cable that came with it, the thick Razer cable, sometimes it can get a little bit awkward to move around. So like, if I need to move it there and then the cable gets in the way, I move it over here and the cable will push something. So it's not perfect. Now the second thing is the arrow keys here. I guess I didn't realize just how much I use them until I get a keyboard that doesn't have a dedicated arrow keys. So I have to use function and then those arrows, and after 3 weeks, probably almost a month, I still can't get used to it. Also page up and page down and other ones that I just didn't realize how much I use them until I had to do like a combination of keys to get to them. With those two problems in mind, I kind of started looking again, and I quickly realized that maybe a wireless keyboard is the way to go. There are a few options. Razer themselves makes a nice 65% Black Widow series wireless keyboard. It's a bit pricey though, it's like 180 bucks. So during my search I came across this thing, Keychron K6. Appears to have pretty decent feedback. Now there's some people reporting some issues with them, that they just kind of die on them after a few months. I don't know, we'll see how that goes. But the keyboard itself is actually not very expensive. It was 80 bucks on Amazon, and there was also a coupon for $10 off, making it 70 bucks. So if you compare, for example, $180 price point for Razer 65% and $70 price point for the Keychron, I figured why not give it a try. The worst case, if something's wrong with it, I'll just return it to Amazon. They'll take it back, no problem. Now, something kind of weird happened when I was shopping for those. There are two separate listings in Amazon that appear from two different sellers. Both of them kind of sound like official Keychron web store or Amazon store. The one of them was $5 cheaper than the other. This one here. Obviously I picked up a cheaper one. They both look exactly the same. They had the same pictures, they had the same model number. Everything appeared to be exactly the same, except for $5 price difference. And the one that was $5 cheaper only had 10 or 11 reviews. The other one had, I don't know, 1,000 reviews. Kind of makes me wonder, is it possible they're knockoff keyboards on Amazon? I don't think so, but we'll see what's in there. I think it's gotta be fine. I think it's fine. Brown switch, so something a little bit more tactile, but also hopefully still quiet enough, not too clicky. See what's in the back. There's a image of the keyboard itself, some features, compact design, dual compatibility, so it works with Windows and Mac, wireless or wired. You can pair up to 3 devices. They claim up to 4 weeks if the backlight is disabled of battery life, and all kinds of different lighting effects. Now I assume the light effects are not going to be as advanced or robust as what you can do with Razer or Corsair or other brands. They're kind of known for that. But I actually just use white backlight anyway. Again, it appears purple on video, but it's white. So the packaging, so here's the thing, I don't know, the packaging feels okay, but it's also just like this plastic heat wrap that pretty much anyone can do. It's not a big deal. But alright, let's go ahead and unbox it, see what we got. So technically, this is probably about $80, the actual MSRP. This is not a hot swappable version, but this is the one with the aluminum frame. And I think the hot swap one is about $100. But the box feels good enough. I mean, it's not any better or worse than boxes that Razer or HyperX come in with. There's a little padding there. Okay, kind of a quick guide manual here. Some key combinations. That'll be good. It's good to keep around. Looks like your keycap removal tool here. USB cable. Okay, so this feels like a pretty decent quality USB-A to USB-C cable. Yeah, it doesn't feel quite as premium as, say, what comes with Razer, but it should get the job done just fine. Next, some extra keycaps here. Alright, so the idea here is if you're gonna use PC or Mac, you can switch out the platform OS specific keycaps. And based on what I see here, looks like I will have to do that because I'm a Windows user. That's a Windows keycap. Okay. And so there's the keyboard itself. Alright, it has a little bit of weight to it. There's also another manual in there. Okay, so it looks like the actual manual. That's it for packaging. Pretty simple, but you get everything you need, and the keyboard is in the bag. Alright, here we go. Okay, cool. So just by looking at it, it actually looks really nice. I'm glad I picked the one with the aluminum frame because it's really just a metal aluminum frame screwed to plastic frame around the keyboard. But it gives it some weight and it does feel like a little bit cool to the touch. It does feel premium in your hand. And before we go to those keys, let's see the back real quick. So you have some legs here. Yeah, they don't click as smoothly as the Razer, but again, very different price point. Now, of course, I'm comparing to a $130 keyboard here. And still, this is almost half the price. Place it there. It's not that much bigger. It is a little bit larger. Obviously, it's 65% versus 60%. But still compact enough. I don't think it's actually gonna make much of a difference, like on your desk. Well, let's feel this brown switch. Okay. This is nice. Goes down smoothly, but you definitely feel like that tactile feel, that activation point. Now this is a little bit mushy. This feels crispier. A bit louder. But very soft feeling. I kind of like it. And not too loud, not as loud as some of the clicky keyboards that I tried. There's long as it works well, I'm planning on using it mostly in the wireless mode. I think tapping will be good. I also like the look. I feel like it looks kind of retro. I'm not even sure why I feel that, but that's just what it looks like to me. Maybe that was the idea, maybe not. Yeah, it does have some weight to it and very, very strong. There's no flex of any kind. So I'm curious here, can I just use the cell phone USB cable with this one? I can. Plug right in. So you have a couple of different options here. It is set to cable right now. Ah, okay, it's on. It's a bit hard to see with this light, but it is on. It's bright in here. So we make it just a little bit darker. Now it doesn't look like... No, that's not bad. I was gonna say it doesn't look like it shines through letters as well, and it probably doesn't. I mean, they're the actual like legends that printed on your keycaps are a bit smaller than what you had, for example, with Razer here. Yeah, backspace. Okay, it's gonna take a little bit getting used to. I almost hit the arrow up, aiming for a shift. Okay, not so bad. Arrow keys? Yeah. Alright. Yeah, so the brown switch does feel nice. I'm not gonna go through the whole Bluetooth setup process right now. I'm just gonna have to use it for a little bit. It's like, this is the unboxing, this is not a review. This is an unboxing and a kind of a first look for me. Of course, this is not a brand new product. There's tons of videos on them. And again, that's kind of the thing why I picked this one. It seems to be pretty popular. Some even big name YouTubers have some videos on these keyboards and pretty positive feedback. Not all though. There's some people that definitely had a bunch of issues with them. So, and not even that long ago. I mean, their videos, they're just from a couple of months ago, from like May, from some users that experienced all kinds of issues with this keyboard just randomly dying after a few days or a few weeks or a few hours even. Or sometimes they just kind of type on their own or stop responding, things like that. And here it is. Usually it doesn't take me a lot of time to figure out if I like a product or not. But with this one, you know, I had to use it for a few days. I had to use it for about 5 days before I felt like I can record my conclusions on it. So, as you can see, like I mentioned, my workspace is kind of small, so having a small keyboard is the must. There's a Razer here, and here's the Keychron K6. Let me first cover the negatives about this keyboard, because it's not an expensive keyboard. It's kind of on the budget side. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect. Before I get grilled in the comment section, because I've seen what happens to YouTubers that dare to say anything negative about this keyboard. Let me just tell you, I actually love it. I love this thing. It's a bit quirky. Yes, it's not perfect, but after using it for 5 days, I'm like, man, yeah, I'm going to keep this. I definitely enjoy using it much more than the Razer, for example, which is still an excellent keyboard, really good. But if I had to pick between the two, I kind of like this one much better, and it's cheaper. It's like $60 cheaper than that. So basically the Razer is almost double the price that the Keychron is, and there's some undeniable benefits to this specific model over here. So first, with that said, let me cover some of the negatives that I kind of realized and ran into after a few days of use. So one, and something I've seen people mention, is it can disconnect sometimes. It drops the connection. Now, it's not frequent at all. Whenever the power saving mode is enabled, it's actually normal because it shuts off after 10 minutes, and every time you bring it back on, it's going to have to reconnect to Bluetooth, so it takes a few seconds, and it can be annoying. That feature can actually be disabled very easily, and after disabling it, it's been much more pleasant to work with. However, sometimes it might still drop a connection. So now, to be fair, it only happened to me with my desktop, which uses a Bluetooth dongle because it doesn't have a built-in Bluetooth. So the problem might be in there and not here, because when I tried this with this Razer laptop, I used it for a full day, no disconnects of any kind, not once. And again, to be fair, actually after that I used this with the desktop for 2 more days in a completely wireless mode, and I had no disconnects again. So I don't know what have changed, but the first couple of days I dropped the connection maybe once every 3-4 hours, and then the next couple of days there were no connection drops at all. And the battery, I haven't been charging it, I just kept it in the wireless mode this whole time, and it's actually something I will bring up in a minute, but it's a positive. The battery life is great. So I would say that disconnect is not a big deal. It's a Bluetooth connection, so I would probably just write it off as the technology being what it is, and most likely it's the computer, not the keyboard. But just something to keep in mind. When it does disconnect, it only takes few seconds, maybe 10 seconds for it to reconnect. So not that big of a deal. Next, the backlight. It's a little bit dim. It's not super bright compared to, say, Razer over here, or like HyperX I tried. It's good enough. I mean, you can see it, and there's some pretty nice effects there. Very easy to change. But I feel like it could be brighter. It could benefit from that. It is what it is though. And being a wireless keyboard running off the battery, it might actually be a good thing. It's going to save you some battery. Next, kind of tied into the backlight, is the actual customization of the backlight are somewhat limited. There's no desktop software that allows you to customize whatever you want, or like pair key different zones or anything like that. You just have to use the light key, and you can do function and arrows to change some colors for that specific effect. So not so bad, but compared to some of the more premium offerings that have their desktop software, it's a little bit limited. Next, the keycaps are smooth, kind of smooth compared to, say, Razer over there. So they do pick up a little bit of oils. It's hard to demonstrate. It's not bad. It's actually not so bad at all, and easy to wipe with just some alcohol. But yeah, it picks up a little bit of oils from your hands. Razer doesn't do that, just for example. And the last point is the USB cable. It's in there somewhere, but it's just a little bit too short for my taste. It's probably only about 3 feet long, and it's actually barely long enough to reach from this desktop to over here to this side here. What's cool though, if I need to charge it, the cable is over there by the way. If I need to charge it, I actually just have it plugged into the wall charger, and the connection still stays connected via Bluetooth. I just plug in the cable, it charges the keyboard. I don't actually have to mess with switching the connection between wired and wireless. I keep it in wireless connection all the time and just charge from the wall outlet. So now let's go to what I like about this keyboard. First is the design and the build quality. I do really like this kind of a retro design to it. And at first I was like, I'm not sure why I feel that it looks retro. Well, I just googled some retro keyboards, or not even, just early keyboards. So as you can see, it does kind of resemble that with like a two-tone keys here. But I like it. The aluminum frame on it, I'm glad I got that, because there are two versions. There's one without it and one with that. It actually makes it feel really robust and very sturdy. There's no flex at all. It looks good, and it gives it some nice weight. So if you look at one of those, definitely consider the one with the aluminum frame. The battery life, is really good. It's a 4000 milliamp hour battery in a keyboard, and so I charged it once. Yeah, I charged it once. The first day I got it, I charged it fully, and I've been using it for 5 days without charging, and you can actually see the battery level by going to function and B, and it just now turned blue. I think yesterday was still green, so there's green, blue, and red, so it's about halfway down by now. I would say it's not bad. You probably have easily more than a week of battery life, and that's with RGB turned on. And finally, the reason why, in my opinion, this keyboard probably actually beats a lot of the more premium offerings is the price. Like I just mentioned, it's about half the price of that Razer over there, and it's even cheaper than some of the, or when comparing to some of other wireless options like the Asus ROG Falchion or Razer's own Black Widow Elite wireless. You can get this for 70 bucks. I mean, sometimes there's some coupon, but it looks like there are always sales. So about $70 to $75 on Amazon for the aluminum frame version, and it's about $100 for hot swappable. If I'm gonna consider anything, I'm actually thinking about maybe exchanging it for the hot swappable version in case I want to start playing around with some different switches and maybe some modding and customization, stuff like that. So I might do that, but I'm definitely gonna keep this. I really enjoy it. Most importantly, tapping on this is just beautiful. It's pleasant. Those brown switches, they feel great. They're really easy, really soft, I guess. I don't know all the different terminology I would. Just for me personally, I really enjoy tapping in those. The feedback is good. It's tactile, but also quiet. And I'm sure there's some modding, some lubing, and things like that you can do to make it feel even better. All right. As always, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask them below, and I'll do my best to answer. Bye.